As far as if statements, we move on to the if-else-if, and so I'll declare the main function, and then I'll execute everything in the main function. And we've looked at an if statement, an if-else statement. Now let's look at an if, and then else if. So that's how you write else if, by you're just writing el and then the if. Notice how they need to be together. If notice it changes color, and if it doesn't change color, something's off. If you put else, obviously once again it reverts back to white text. So all these keywords here change color if you write them correctly. And so let's talk a little bit about an if-else-if statement. When you have an if-else-if statement, what you do is you check a condition, and if that condition is not true, then you move on to the else-if condition. And if that condition is not true, then you could add another else-if condition. And so it's only going to satisfy one of these conditions. Once it satisfies one of these conditions, it terminates it doesn't keep checking. So, and then we have the else there at the end. So if you check this condition and it's not true, you come in here, you check this condition, say that is true on line 8. Then you execute whatever is inside this if-else-if condition, and you don't check the rest. So only one of these is going to basically be triggered, and you will only execute the code within one of these if statements. So let's provide here an example where we might have to use an if-else-if condition. Let's ask for someone's grade level by saying that grade level, which is a variable, equals the input from the user. When you ask the user, enter your grade level. And so what I mean by this is we're going to have the user enter 10, 11, 9, 10, 11, or 12, depending on what grade the student is in. Now then I'm going to say, okay, if grade level is equal to, and you could say a number here, 10, or I guess I'll start with 9. You can print, so if that condition is true, print have a great freshman year. So if grade level is equal to 9, print have a great freshman year. Else, if grade level is equal to 10, then we'll say print, I'll copy this so that I don't have to rewrite all of it, because it's going to be very similar. We can print here, have a great sophomore year. As you can tell, my typing here is a little off today. And then else, if grade level is 11, equal to 11, we want to print have a great junior year. And then the last condition, I could also put else if grade level equals 12. So I could take this last value and then copy it and paste it. And instead of just a simple else, I can check if grade level is equal to 12. Then we're going to print have a great senior year. So notice that one of these will print and only one of them. So only one, because grade level is only going to take one of these values. But even more importantly, when you meet one criteria, so say you meet this criteria, then it doesn't check the rest. It just prints here and you exit the if-else-if statement. So like right here, if I put 10, and I'm just saying, okay, like it's a typo, right? And if the user enters the number 10, it will get to line 10, and it's going to ask, is grade level equal to 10? And the answer is yes, so it's going to print have a great sophomore year. And although we still have this condition that would be true, grade level equals 10, we wouldn't print on line 16 because as soon as you execute something within the else if condition, you stop executing. You stop trying to execute anything after that. And one last thing here. So I'll change this back to 11 so we can have a good implementation. One last thing is that grade level is a numeric value. It is what we call an integer. And when you are reading integers in, so grade level is an integer. It's not how you write a comment. Grade level is an integer, which means it's a whole number. We do need to put the input, wrap the input function inside the int function. So let's not forget that. So notice how whatever the user inputs, we want to make it an integer using the int function. Now let's run it, test it out. So I am getting asked to save this. Let's go to documents, and this is under Python tutorials for me, which is right here, and then selection, and I'll call this if else if. Okay, so it says what grade level are you in? You put 9. Have a great freshman year. Run it again. I put 10. Have a great sophomore year. 11. Have a great junior year. And 12. Have a great senior year. Now, I will say here again that if we were to make a typo and put a 10 there, we would not print both of these. So let's run it. And let's enter 10. It prints only the string on line 13 because it meets this condition, but then it doesn't print the string on line 17 because although this is a true statement, grade level equals 10, when you once again are using if else if statement, you will only, as soon as you meet the criteria for one of them, print what's in it and then exit the statement, exit the if else if statement. So that means you do not go and check these values anymore. You stop. And so again, that was a typo that I put there in there on purpose. We use 11. Now, what is true here is that if I put anything aside from 9, 10, 11, or 12, so like 13, nothing prints. And what is also true is that if instead of using the else if condition here, I had just used the else, then that changes the implementation here because you say, okay, is grade level equal to 9? And if it's not, is it equal to 10? Else is if grade level equals 11. And if I put an else here, then it's not checking to see if it equals 12, which means that whatever value of grade level that is not 9, 10, 11, then you will print have a great senior year. So if I run this now and I put 13 again, just like I did previously, now it does print have a great senior year because the else condition makes it so that if you don't meet any of the criteria before it, then you will definitely print whatever is in the else condition. And I say print, but it could be more than just a print statement. There could be a lot more than just that. So that's the thing with the else condition. If you don't meet any of the other criteria, then it doesn't matter what grade level is. Even if it's 13, 15, negative 9, it doesn't matter. You will print the last statement. So I think best practice is to make sure that you know what you want your code to do. So I only want to print have a great senior year if grade level is equal to 12. And so I will then use that else if at the end. And then you could add, if you wanted to, an else condition here where you, if the grade level is not 9 through 12, then you can print something like invalid grade level. And so like say this is an application where you're trying to get the you're only asking the students that are in the high school some questions. And the first question is, what's your grade level? If the student enters a number that is not 9 through 12, then you would say invalid grade level, because if you're making this application exclusively for high school students, then they must enter a grade that is between 9 and 12. And so you could add this last statement in case grade level is not a number that is 9 through 12. So just a quick short example here on if else if statements. Also recall that we still have the and condition that we could put here, and or the or condition from our previous examples. And be aware of that we can make quite an involved here check using if else if statements and the and or logical operators. So this is a simple example to get you familiar with the syntax that we use, and to get you familiar with how the if else if statements work. But it can be a little more complex, or we can increase the complexity by using what we've learned already in previous videos. So work on the assignment, and have this help you.